What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. This is AOR. In today's episode, I want to welcome back my fellow prospectors, both new and veterans. This video is for those of you who want the best start to Endgame Icarus. As you know, Endgame Icarus doesn't forgive bad prep. Today we're dialing in the perfect solo drop kit and the survival strategy that I believe you will need to last in high yield zones where the predators, the weather, and the attrition are all stacked against you. So whether you're stepping into Endgame for the very first time or you've already lost runs to bad drops, brutal storms, this stream is about doing just that and doing it just right. So from the moment your boots hit the ground, you are good to go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. I'm going to be beginning a new open world in the most difficult map. So obviously, if you don't have Prometheus or Styx available to you, these same strategies and concepts are going to work for you on Olympus. So I'm just going to be using this to over-exaggerate and demonstrate as best as I can these concepts for you. So you will get this notification. Obviously, it's just letting you know that this environment is very unforgiving. The weather is extreme. The creatures are much more difficult. The missions are harder. So I'm going to create a new world. We're going to go ahead and call this particular prospect Solo. And most likely I will be deleting this prospect. Full spirit transparency. This is just for this stream. This is just for you guys. So part of this is going to include the loadout that I think is going to be the most ideal for your use. Now, you may not have all the items that I'm going to be taking with me, but I want to stress the importance of using the correct loadout when you go to drop in. I'm going to back out real quick to the workshop, and I'm going to show you a couple items that you will probably want to pick up, especially for you veterans. If you're new to the game, don't worry. These things come with time, and you can swap them for other items that will give you kind of the same effect. So I'm going to be taking the new Explorer backpack with me. Obviously, these buffs are extremely overpowered, and I can't wait to leverage them to my advantage. But for this particular episode, I really need the Larkwell Hollier Envirosuit. So I'm going to pick up this guy as well. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to go back. Prometheus, confirm, new world, Solo. Okay. So I'm going to be taking this suit with me. Explorer backpack, as I mentioned. These modules, again, you can swap them for others, but I believe this is the best combination and use for endgame content and endgame play. I have the mass dampener module, adlift module, kickfall module, and the dose up module. And once we hit the ground, I'll kind of explain why these are, in my opinion, the best things to take with you. Obviously, you can swap out these items, right? Like, you don't have to bring the bow. I'm going to use the bow to kind of bridge the gap between our veterans and new players. So ideally, if you are really truly playing endgame, like I often find myself, something more suitable like the Chak rifle, the Chak shotgun, and pistol would probably be better suited, especially for this map. But to demonstrate my concepts work and can apply to really any map you play on, I'm going to be using these specific items. You're going to want a canteen and oxygen tank when you hit the ground. These other items that I have here are from previous prospects, play testing. Don't pay too much attention to these. These are kind of like the sad, lost and forgotten items in my loadout. So with these items here, let's go ahead and drop. I'm going to be picking these areas only because typically when you drop into a new map, you want an area that's going to be the most conducive and also the safest. But just for the sake of this stream, this live stream in particular, I'm going to be dropping here in this area. All right. And I'm going to pull up the chat just in case I miss anything. Perfect. Got this pulled up. For those of you joining me tonight, I absolutely appreciate it. It is Thursday, and I'm very excited to be tuning in tonight. I was debating whether or not I would do a stream or just drop a video that I have in my library, but I thought this might be a better way to go. Plus, I kind of missed the interaction with you guys. I feel like it's been a little while, so thank you for joining me. As always, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. We are touchdown.
Welcome to Prometheus, Prospector. This place has only been accessible to approved scientists and faction contractors till now. But it looks like the UDA are finally opening it up for the rest of us.
I'm gonna equip this stuff.
They made our lives easier, especially yours. You see, you'll be able to get back to the station whenever you'd like, or move gear and resources from orbit to planet, and vice versa. What a time to be alive. First things first, if you want to complete missions for the UDA, you'll need to...
I'm gonna let this dialogue kind of finish real quick.
Plenty of folks need help, and factions pay well for prospectors that offer their time. Up to you. Stay safe.
Okay, with that dialogue out of the way, the primary focus once I touch down is to just start gathering resources that I can use to craft. We don't have any arrows yet, so that's the very first thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to craft a couple of these because I'm going to want to use bone arrows as soon as possible. We do have a Chala right here. Let's go ahead and take this guy. So I'm going to be covering a few concepts in this video for you guys. Part of it's like the survival aspect, part of it's the hunting aspect, and the best things that I can recommend for you in a gameplay. But as for the survival aspect in particular, you just want to start grabbing as many of these items that you can pick up off the ground that don't require any tools yet. And craft an armor of any kind that you can get your hands on. I'm gonna grab more stone. I need more fiber for sure if I want to craft the rest of this armor. So I currently have head, chest, and arm, so I need legs and feet. So here's our leg armor and our feet or foot armor. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of passively craft as many of these bone arrows as I can. You don't have to worry too much about base building yet, right? A lot of this is just like establishing yourself, getting your feet underneath you, and getting what I consider to be critical materials to survive the first few days in game. Things you don't have to worry about right away are things like food and water. You could probably make it through the first day and not worry too much about that, especially because we brought the oxygen tank and the canteen with us. And I pre-treated this canteen on a different map, and I pre-filled this oxygen tank on a different save file. Those things are going to help you tremendously, especially if you're starting a new character wipe, a new map, a new prospect. Like, the major key to success here is proper preparation. I cannot stress that enough for you guys. It is like kind of the make or break So you don't have to worry about picking up the meat from these right away. You probably won't even be able to cook all of it, if I'm being honest. And you certainly can't eat it fast enough. It'll probably spoil before you can actually eat all of it. So I am just going to take everything right now, and then I'm going to kind of sort through my methodology for what I think is the most crucial early on to really help you get into those endgame high yield areas. And again, as the purple sky indicates, for those of you who are hopping in just now, this is the Prometheus map. So when it comes to hunting, what I've noticed, at least for my gameplays, you kind of have to like wander around an area. We have a storm coming through. Rain. I don't think we're going to have too much issues with that. When you're walking through an area, if you notice there aren't a lot of animals spawning into the map yet, just kind of keep wandering around and turn your back on an area. The area needs time to know that you're there. That might sound weird, but it's a procedural generated map, right? So things aren't going to be there before you get there. It needs time to kind of spawn. So as you can see, we have a few critters that are starting to spawn in on this particular side of the map. So if I were to leave and come back, they will be there. But notice that these things weren't around us before, but now suddenly they're there. So the map quite literally needs time for these things to spawn. I'm going to take this guy, Texas Heartshot. So again, my primary focus right now is just gathering these materials. I'll sort through them shortly. And depending on the severity of this storm, it might push us to sort through it sooner than later. So the goal is to run around and just get as much material from animals, items that you can pick up, and then from there you can just kind of prioritize. Like, I didn't anticipate needing a base so soon, but because of the storm, I have to be kind of dynamic, right? So I'm probably going to find an area that I can post up for a little bit. I'm going to craft a temporary base structure and start sorting through my inventory while we wait out the storm. So I'm going to grab some timber here. Pick up all this stuff. I really do think one tree is enough. Obviously, you might not have the same perks as me, so bear that in mind as well. But I'm just going to grab a few more materials, and then we're going to craft a quick structure. It's going to be super simple, just small enough but sturdy enough to outlast this storm here. Kind of want a good spot with a view. I think this area will be fine. I kind of like that plateau up there, so I'm going to hop up there. Here we go. Okay, so for this temporary base structure, I'm going to do 2 of these wooden beams. I want 4 floors and 4 roof pieces. And then I'm going to need 8 walls. I don't need a door because I'm going to be basically inside of my base. And I'll just break my way out. Okay, so that's my floor. I can start putting my wall up. I don't need like a Taj Mahal view right now. I just need a temporary base structure. And it is pretty dark, so I'm going to craft a torch for us while we're in here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this chance to kind of sort through my inventory here. I don't have enough stone to craft a campfire and start cooking this stuff, but that's okay. I'm not going to need food right away. But things on the top of the priority list are things like a bedroll. So if nighttime comes, I can kind of just sleep through it. I don't have to wander around in the dark. Basic medical supplies. I do have, obviously, quite a bit of bones. I've got the leather. I've got the fiber. So I want 2 of these. And just the most bandages I can craft after I get these suture kits made. And then I do have probably enough bones to craft the bone armor. But I'm probably going to wait on the bone armor only because the bone arrows are going to take a precedence. Then I can destroy the stone arrows. Swap to bone arrows. And let's see, right now it is 11:33 in game. So we have basically the entire day. We're just waiting for the storm to pass and then we'll go back outside. Other things you can craft to kind of help you progress to like tier 2 pretty rapidly are rope. So I've got heaps of leather. I'm not worried about needing most of it right away. So I'm just going to craft probably 30 rope just to get us going. You could do the seed pouch, but since the patch and update, unless you have the proper sickle, getting seeds from harvesting plants doesn't come until you make the seed extractor. And so if you wanted to start kind of prepping yourself for longevity and like food storage, food preparation, the seed extractor isn't a bad thing to start with. But until you have like a pretty ideal location for where you want to set up your base, I'd probably wait off on that. You might benefit more if you crafted a campfire and started getting some charcoal to make the basic water purifier. I think water is probably, especially clean water, is probably going to be more important in my opinion than food, because obviously there's heaps of food in here. So, and then there's berries, tomatoes, lots of raw food that you can pick up as you go. As far as the hunting goes, my main priority is ensuring I have enough arrows to defend myself, especially against these more difficult and challenging creatures. If you're playing arachnophobia mode, which I am not for the sake of this stream, having good gear, good armor is going to be pretty important pretty quickly. The last thing you want to do is have a bad drop and then die and then have to respawn and then go collect all your gear. I'm going to craft a hammer just in case the base took any damage while we've been sitting here. Storage, longevity-wise, is helpful, but you really don't need it again until you have an ideal location for your base. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is more of a quick guide, right? I'm going to give you like the no-nonsense quick guide to endgame survival, endgame solo hunting in these high yield areas that are going to be really challenging to survive. Like, forget about the creatures for just a moment. It's also things like the weather, the attrition, and just the challenge of being in these deep areas, high yield zones where you can find all those ores, the materials you need to build that epic giant base that you definitely won't share with friends, that sort of thing, right? So rather than waste your time with like things that I think would be nice to have, I'm going to show you the things that I think are absolutely critical off the bat. Now that the storm's passed, let's go ahead and knock down our temporary base structure here. We have the real estate in our backpack to carry all this stuff with us, so I'm not too worried about dumping it and getting rid of it right away. I'd like to hang on to this temporary base structure, especially if we encounter more severe storms anytime soon. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the Arctic zone. I'm going to drop down to I-9 in this area here, and then drop into the Arctic zone here. If we have any luck, we might even be able to run into a juvenile mammoth and begin the taming process for that mammoth. I do want to start stacking some food buffs though, so I'm going to start grabbing things to make some meals And the trick here, hot tip, is meal diversity. The more diverse the food buffs you have, the more perks you get. So just keep that in mind. You want to have like a few different options to stack your food buffs. And with the perks that I have, I can stack 4 of them. Oh, there's a beehive right there. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm going to shoot it out from right here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take all and the bones. We're just going to drop down. I would normally grab the honey, but we won't need it anytime soon. I just don't want to deal with the bees. We're going to head southeast on this map into the Arctic zone. Now, if you weren't fortunate enough, like myself, to have a tank with you, you would basically shift your focus to Oxite. The air is toxic here, so all you have is what you have in storage inside of your suit, your Enviro suit, and then you can add those things here, right? So if I didn't have my oxygen tank, if you're a brand new player, you would shift your focus to water, oxygen, and then a way to sleep to pass the night. Because if you don't, you're basically just wandering around in the dark. And if you're in a map like this, that is not a good strategy. You're probably going to die sooner than later if you're just wandering around in the dark. And especially if you're playing with arachnophobia mode. Okay, so I'm going to speak a little bit to modules on our way there. The modules I picked, I'm just going to show you real quick. If you're following from the beginning of the video, I have the 10% movement speed, 15% increase to weight capacity, a 40% reduction to fall damage, and the dose up module. This one is probably the most critical of the 4, so if you could buy nothing else, I would say the dose up module is the way to go. It's a 15% reduction to your oxygen consumption, food consumption, and your water consumption. So this is going to help you go further, stay out longer, and if you're an explorer type character like myself, this is going to be really critical for enabling you to be away from base for longer periods of time, be out hunting to get that gear, to get those materials you need for tier 2 and 3 crafting. There are some perks that I think are worth investing into, especially when it comes to hunting. Personally, you don't need the icon that pops up to notify you that there's a creature nearby. But I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like surprises. And I am a bit jumpy, if I'm being honest with you guys. If you've watched my videos, you've probably noticed by now. But that perk in particular kind of helps you prepare for the worst that could come. So is it necessary? Probably not. And especially if you're more into the immersion version of this game, it definitely breaks immersion if you see like a health bar pop up on your screen, right? But again, for me, I'm more into avoiding conflicts if I can, especially if I'm not quite prepared or as prepared as I would like to be. So it helps. I am going to grab the berries. If you look at the map, this particular region has heaps of berries. Like all the berries are here for this map. Not actually, but I'm being dramatic when I say that. But there are so many berries here. And if you want to stack food buffs, again, it's all about diversity of your meals. I'm going to go ahead and grab whatever I can from this guy. I'm going to take all. Okay, my inventory is full, so I'm going to go ahead and start dropping the meat I've collected. I want to keep a full stack and a full stack of this raw gaming meat. Probably drop this one though, eh? Free up some space in the inventory here. And this is what I mean, like, you're not quite hungry enough yet to start needing to eat, but if you want to start prepping meals, especially if you want those buffs, again, diversity is your friend. So I'm going to go ahead and start dropping the rotten meat. We definitely don't need all of this oxite. I'm probably going to drop this partial stack here. And then I'm going to start... we need one more stone. I'm going to start grabbing whatever we can to start prepping meals. Particularly stone right now. I just need a campfire. I just need a rock. Is there a rock here that I can use? No? Okay. I'm going to steal some from this guy here. I'm going to go ahead and craft my campfire. And I'm going to post up probably like right at the mouth of this new biome. So this is like sort of a conifer biome, if you will. And then this is basically right into the Arctic zone. So this is kind of the, I guess like the doorway between the two biomes. So I'm going to post up right here in the sunshine, work on my tan, and start prepping some food. And then all the stone that I have, I'll probably hang on to it for at least a little while. But I'm going to toss in this full stack of wood and start prepping some meals. And then the charcoal that we generate from this cook sesh, we want to hang on to that. I think that's pretty key. Like, I think a lot of what trips up players is they're very one-track minded. They're moving from priority to priority. When it comes to endgame, everything you do kind of helps prepare you for the next thing. So while it's normally not considered important to hang on to the charcoal from this meal, we're going to be using it to make a filtration system. And so try to keep some of those aspects in mind. Like, you want your preparations to kind of piggyback off of the next thing you're going to be doing next in the game. And I'll demonstrate that here. We have heaps of leather. I don't even know what we'd be doing with all of this just yet. Once you craft a bedroll, you really don't need fur. Like, this is one of my gripes right now with the game, is it doesn't seem like there's much that you can do with the fur. And I'm actually going to swap out the wood I have in here for some sticks, just so we can get more charcoal going. For those of you who are watching, I appreciate you tuning in tonight to hang out with me. It means everything. So thanks for hanging out. Okay. We've got our 30 rope. The priority next for me in this stage would be to start harvesting or mining iron and copper. The reason for that is we would need ingot in both iron and copper to craft both the contact device and the orbital exchange interface. Once you have like basic materials, you can pretty much craft a lot of the things you need right away, especially things like a crafting bench. So like those first few moments right when you touch down, you want to start picking up everything you can from the ground, and then immediately start hunting, because that kind of feeds into your tier 1, tier 2 crafting. Check in on the fire. I'm gonna eat that. Kind of swap these around a little bit. Create more diversity. So for my food buffs right now, I currently have the cooked meat. And if you take a look at the yellow text, it kind of tells you what those buffs give you. So 75%, or excuse me, an additional 75 points to your maximum health, and then a 20% increase to your health regeneration. Cooked gamey meat. Again, these are like basic drops, guys, from just like hunting anything with 4 legs that's walking around the map. So you want to stack these and cook them, and then start stacking your buffs. So it gives you 100%, or excuse me, 100 additional points to maximum stamina, 150 additional points to maximum health, a 15% increase to melee damage, and then an additional 5% experience gained. For your new players, stacking food buffs is kind of OP. It is definitely endgame energy. I want to cook more of these raw gamey meat and the cooked meat. These fried tomatoes are going to go bad faster than the meat will, so I probably won't cook too many of those, to be honest. If you eat these tomatoes raw, all you get is an additional 30 points to maximum health. But the food buff doesn't last for very long. Like if you take a look at the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, you can see that each of these food buffs, they have a lifespan. So your cooked meals definitely last the longest, whereas like your raw foods, they don't last quite as long. With the exception of berries, I want to say you get like 12 minutes out of that. I'm going to wait for that tomato to expire. And now I'm just going to start gathering everything I have in here. Probably swap this out. Cook a few of these raw meat. Having these meals on hand, you'll create more diversity for your food buffs, but also you're kind of carrying your own food storage, so it's kind of ingenious. And if you play it right, you can have probably 3 or 4 days worth of food storage on you. And so if you can keep that diversity somehow by cooking different meals, you can stack those food buffs for at least 3 to 4 days. Maybe even more, to be honest. Especially if you salt these, they last pretty long. So I'm going to let that cook probably 2 more of those. And honestly, I can probably just drop these tomatoes. Now, if you were focusing on like longevity and food prep, now would be the time to craft your seed extractor and then just start running different items through there. Get your seeds and start carrying those around with you. And when you have your ideal base location, you can leverage that. So we now have 33 charcoal in here. That's definitely enough for what we need. We need 10 charcoal, 30 sticks, 25 fiber, and 4 stone to craft this basic water purifier. Keep in mind though, even though you only need 10 charcoal to craft this, charcoal is also the fuel type that you need to make filtered water. So having extra charcoal is definitely a good idea. And I'm probably going to leave these 2 meat types in here and just take what we have and start heading into the Arctic zone. I'll probably come back here and this will be our temporary base structure as well. This is pretty flat ground actually. Like if you wanted a good place to farm crops, you could literally just craft a shovel and start farming crops right here. But I'm going to go ahead and place our temporary base structure here. And now that we have some time and we still have some wood, I can probably do things like the door, even like a nice little ramp to walk up. So let's go ahead and craft that. And let's get our walls down. So I think this will probably be my doorway. And that looks like a good spot for a window. And then these 2 will just be walls. Let's get our roof up. Throw our door in place. Hot tip, if you change the direction you're looking at the door frame, it will actually swap the door handle to either side. I like the door handle to be on this side so that when I open the door, it's not in my way. It's like out of the way. It's just a personal preference. And what I would consider to be a quality of life improvement, definitely not necessary, just something I prefer. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my crafting bench down. This is when you start to look at your oxide dissolver. If you want a skidding bench, great. I typically try to focus on something like the masonry bench or like a new cooking modality, whether that's the potbelly stove or you choose to do something else like the fireplace. Whatever it is, like this is the time to start focusing on what you want to start crafting. That will determine what items you go to mine, right? So for me, I want the contact device orbital exchange interface. And for that, you need 7 iron ingot, 7 copper ingot, and then you need 15 ironing it for your contact device. They both require rope, which is why I've gone ahead and crafted that rope as soon as I had the ability to do so. And then I'm going to toss down our oxide dissolver. The only thing we're missing from this will be our sulfur, but we've got plenty of oxide. So I'm going to toss those in. While I'm here, hot tip, if you don't want to crowd your living space, especially a temporary base, with things like chests and storage items, you can actually just store your items in your crafting bench. It is extremely convenient. You don't really need to carry this stuff around with you anymore. So I'm going to toss these items into the crafting bench. I might hang on to fiber, especially because I want to craft more bandages. Okay, we're heading into the Arctic biome. With the module I'm using, the speed that you can run at is really nice. And once you stack your food buffs, the stamina bar is just absolutely insane. I wish that's how it worked in real life. Usually when I eat, I don't feel like sprinting, so now I'm going to be a little bit more picky about what I bring with me. Things like leather and fur are kind of optional at this point. Right now I'm focusing on diversity of food. So I'm grabbing these and bringing these with me. Some of these will rot, honestly, by the time I get back, but that's okay. I'm going to drop the rest. And right now, I just need the bones. The bones are going to be the most critical thing at this stage. I'm going to take care of a few of these guys. I wonder if I can make that shot through the bush. Maybe. There we go. I see that guy over there. So again, just in the short time we've been in like the mouth or entryway to this biome, we're starting to see these creatures spawn. The reason I want to grab as many bones as possible is for items in your tier 2 and tier 3, and especially tier 4, epoxy is like the bane of existence. You need epoxy for almost everything. So I'm going to focus on as much as I can gathering bones from this point on. You don't need to do what I'm doing, but for endgame, especially if you want to really progress through the tiers of crafting sooner rather than later, this is going to be how you do it. And then we have a cave right there. We can go mine some items in there. I don't think that's a bear. No, it's not a bear. I do see a wolf though. I like taking out the predators in the area. It just kind of adds a bit more safety and security to your area. So I'm going to head into this cave now and start grabbing iron and copper. We're likely going to encounter cave worms, but looks safe up here for now. So you don't need to over encumber yourself at this stage, right? We just need enough to craft our contact device for missions. If you're into the campaigns and that's your sort of thing, then that's also what you'll need. If not, I would highly encourage having the orbital exchange interface, because if you're starting to realize that you dropped down and there's something you forgot, this is the way you get it. Just you're going to want to have the option at least to bring down more gear if you need it. It might make the difference between life and death. It doesn't look like there's a ton of copper in here, so I might need to go into another cave. We should be good on iron though. I'm trying to work my way up this little area here. We might have enough copper. I'll check the inventory in just a second. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. We don't have enough copper. Okay, we definitely have enough iron though. For sure. Oh, we do have enough copper. Okay, I feel good about that. And to make the stone smelter, you need the crafting bench. I think it's 100 stone. If I'm not crazy, it might be 100 stone. If you find yourself in a cave like I do, and you don't have the materials to build a ramp or ladder system to get yourself back out, hot tip, just go to your settings, unstuck yourself, and you'll be right back outside. Is that cheating? Look, you can definitely make that argument, but it is a feature of the game, so I'm going to use it. That's just me. You definitely don't have to. I understand for you immersive players that love your immersion and like the role-playing experience, that pulls you out of that a little bit, but that's just me, again. Okay, I want to try to cover some ground here. We could head back to the base and sleep, but I just want to get up here a little bit to see if I can spawn in any mammoths in the area. So the reason I'm looking for a mammoth juvenile is I have yet to use that new update. I have been exploring these Arctic areas in quite a lot of depth, and I have yet to encounter one. From what I was reading in the dev's notes, the like most recent update that had the juvenile mammoths that you can now use as like a mount or tame, it's set to explore colder regions like the Arctic zones. I just haven't had it happen yet, so I'm really excited and still frothing at the idea of having a baby mammoth. That just sounds rad. So I'm gonna head back to our base here. I had a huge frame drop there for a second. I'm back to like 128, 130. Okay, that's not bad. And then I want to check the immediate area for things like sulfur and salt for food preservation, and then stocking up on sulfur, not just for my wood torch, but also to restock and refill my oxygen tank. Okay, we got a tier 2 storm coming in, nothing to worry about. I'm going to grab this sulfur and this salt and then head back to our temporary base structure. The reason I'm going to advocate for the temporary base is, in this stage, we're really just exploring the map. We're just kind of getting the lay of the land, getting our feet under us. I'm going to bring this back inside with us. We're going to need that. And there's a lot of pros and cons, guys, to the base, right? Your base is what takes you to the next level. It's your safety and security. It's your warmth. I think I want to use sticks. I know I don't have to, but I think I will. I wouldn't mind having more charcoal. And we're probably going to need more stone. Let me check. So it is 80 stone. I thought it was 100, but it's 80. It's saying that we have enough stone. I'll take it. And then I want to craft the mortar and pestle pretty quickly. Because again, guys, I can't stress this enough. Epoxy. You're going to need so much epoxy. Your tiers 2, 3, and 4, like almost every critical item is behind the material wall that is epoxy. So I'm just going to set this up probably over here by the fire. And then start crafting my crushed bone. The other thing that's useful with the charcoal and sulfur is if you're wanting to transition into some better weapons sooner than later, you're going to need those. Gunpowder, if you want to craft explosives of any kind, gunpowder is going to be your friend. So running around and just like spending 20 minutes to just looking for sulfur or looking for like a specific crafting item is your friend. Otherwise, you can do like the opportunistic harvester or miner like myself. It can help. We need sticks. I'm going to just break a couple of these branches, bushes out here. Grab that guy, some berries. Head back into my domicile. Okay, so I've got food preps to be made. Start tossing those on there. Sweet. If you're worried about room in here, just keep in mind, once these start stacking on top of themselves, they make more room. So you just need one empty slot. And then let's start smelting down our ingot. So again, my focus, my recommendation, you can take it for what it's worth, but you're going to want this orbital exchange interface as soon as possible. This might actually be your safety net, especially in these areas. And remember, you can take this with you wherever you go. Like, it's one of the nice things about the orbital exchange interface is it is technically mobile. So you can take it with you, put it down, set it up, drop in some ammo, drop in like a new weapon, excuse me, and then use that to your advantage. So I'm going to put this guy probably right here in the corner. And then I'm going to toss in iron first, then copper, iron, then copper. And that'll give me like a nice spread of ingot as this starts to smelt. I'm going to grab my wood from there, toss that in, let that do its thing. At this point, guys, we are good to sleep. I'm going to go ahead and set this up right here. I believe... Okay, yeah, so one of the updates I saw is you do actually generate warmth now when you're standing next to the stone furnace. So that is a hot tip. And it's morning time. So quick recap for those of you who are joining us. This is kind of my guide to Endgame, solo hunter, exploration, and really just like all things Endgame survival and hunting. So the focus right now, we've covered our bases. We have some food. We have diversity of food, which is huge for our food buffs. We've got the ingot that we need, and we have the basic materials to start opening up the game for ourselves. So those things are like charcoal, bones. You're going to need some silica, not very much, but just some. You're going to need iron, copper, sulfur, your charcoal, like I've mentioned. This is very, very important. Bones. That has to be the one thing on your mind. It's got to be the primary focus at the front of your head. Everywhere you go, keep in mind, you need bones. Why do you need bones? You need epoxy. Epoxy is almost in everything that you need to craft. Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, it's epoxy. So epoxy is going to be your friend. You've got quite a bit of storage in here. So every chance you get, every time you go out, bring back bones, craft your crushed bone, and start making epoxy. Even though I don't even have the Tier 2 crafting bench yet, I will have epoxy so that when it's time for Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, I'm going to have all the epoxy I could possibly need. I'm going to swap these around. I don't want this bacon to go bad. Throw those in my inventory. Bacon is probably my favorite meal prep, only because you can hold like, I think it's 45 or 50. I don't remember the stack, but it's like a lot of bacon. So there's a perk that exists in the perk tree that when you kill wolves, they drop a wide variety and range of different meats, with a small potential for an exotic meat. So if you want to know what exotic meat means, just ask your mom. I'm sure she could tell you all about that. But now that we've got more diversity in our food here, we can really leverage these food buffs. So again, the cooked meat, 75 points for your maximum health, 20% increase to your health regeneration, maximum increase to stamina, which is huge, health regeneration again with the fried tomatoes. Cooked gamey meat, especially important for you new players. This is going to be your best friend. It gives you a buff for 5% more experience gained. Bacon gives you 15% more experience gained. A nice addition to your health and a nice addition to your stamina. I think that's why bacon's probably my favorite food, but you can also stack quite a bit of it. So keep that in mind. Not all meats are created equal. If you don't believe me, just ask a friend who's going to be honest with you, and he'll show you the light. I'm going to keep my food in like a general area here so I can manage it a little better. And I'm going to dump all this ore. We don't need to keep it on us. This stack of ore, I'm going to toss into here so I can start making our steel bloom. And we don't need to do that yet, but I'm going to kind of keep that in mind. Steel, while it's not like immediately critical, guys, again, like for endgame, right? The focus here is endgame. Steel is going to be very important for crafting. So I'm going to kind of start saving some iron for the future. And then even gunpowder too. Like, you want to move into weapons sooner than later, especially on these more difficult maps like Styx, Prometheus. If you have those DLCs, you're very keenly aware and familiar with the difficulties and challenges of those creatures. So moving into a firearm, especially something like a shotgun, is great. The pistol is even a good option. You just want more damage, more capacity as soon as you can. But again, the reason I'm going with the bow right now, for those of you who are watching, is I kind of wanted to bridge the gap between someone who might be a new player, who may not have access to like the Chak rifle, Chak shotgun, and pistol. So to bridge the gap between like the new players and veterans, that's why I'm using the bow. I want to show you that this concept is proven. It can be done. It may not be the most comfortable and certainly not the best, but you can do it. You really can. So you'll notice now that I'm stacking these food preps, I don't want them to spoil. So I'm going to start focusing on building a salting station. I've got some salt. I'm going to drop this stuff. I need to make some room. Inventory management is incredibly crucial, especially for you endgame players. And that's why I advocate for the temporary base. Look, unless you know the map very well and you've been able to pick out like your best location, I'm going to have a separate video on this. But until you have the most ideal situation that suits you for your gameplay, I don't recommend rushing into the base build. You want the freedom to explore the map, do missions even, and you really can get away with a temporary base. Like, it's not going to suit you in endgame, but for this stage of our endgame prep, it is vital to your gameplay. I can't stress that enough. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Look, there's definitely benefits, right, to having a big base with everything you could possibly need to the point where you don't actually leave your base. There's pros for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to argue that having a base isn't important, but rather at this stage, what you really want is to give yourself the most options, the most security, and the most longevity at this stage. So for the salting station, I might be blind. Give me a second here. There it is. 25 stone, 50 wood, 25 charcoal. We have everything but this guy. I'm going to grab some wood. One tree is typically enough. Unless you're a fan of deforestation like myself, you definitely don't need to cut everything down right away. You also don't want to slow yourself down and over encumber yourself. So keep that in mind. Like, you could just go on like harvesting parties. I call them harvesting parties, but you just take 20 minutes, run around grabbing this one or two different resource types, and you just stack it, right? And while I'm here, I'm actually going to toss these into here. And then this stack, I'm going to go straight into the fire. I'm going to swap those two. We've already got meat spoiling. Food spoils really fast. That's kind of why right now the focus is food preservation. This will take you to the next level. This will keep you like 5, 6, 7 days even away from base, running around exploring, finding that new tame that you've been waiting for your entire life. The priority is longevity, safety, security. If you can think of those three things, you're going to go far in this game. So I want to craft my salt station. I tossed all my charcoal in here. So, salt station. You definitely don't need all the salt. You just need some, right? If you look at these different meals I have, diversity is great. I don't have a ton of them, and this kind of works out in our favor. I'm actually going to consume this stack here. Perfect. So let's put our salt station down. I think I'm going to toss it like right here. I'm going to put our salt in there, and then I'm going to start salting these. And this will take you to the next level. You do not have to worry about food at this point. Like, you just want some diversity in your food, and then after that, you're like in the clear. Try to use your time as best as you can. Again, it's all about your goals, right? Like if your focus is just the base build, preserve your food and then just focus on your base build, right? If you want to build like a 4-story base, you're going to be spending a lot of time collecting resources. You don't want to have to worry about food and water. You don't want to have to take a break in the middle of your crafting frenzy to get your basic necessities to survive on the map. So, trying to give you guys the best template for success and longevity. Drop those there. I can keep the stone, toss the bone, keep the sticks and fiber. I'm going to shift my focus to meds. So I've got 2 suture kits and 5 basic bandages. This is my kind of catch-all for basic medical needs. Like, yes, you could do the herbalism bench and make some tonics, and you can carry those with you. But for most situations in the 800 hours of gameplay that I have, usually the suture kit and basic bandage will cover most of the horrific things that will happen to you on this map. So just keep that in mind. And then I would like to start looking at a drying rack. Get some either jerky or just dried meats available to us. Again, diversity is your friend when it comes to food preps and stacking those food buffs. I'm going to kind of walk away from food for a little bit. I think you guys understand the importance of food buffs and the necessity for diversity in your food. I feel like I've beaten that horse pretty good and dead. So we're going to shift our focus. I want a full stack of copper and iron. I've already got the rope in my crafting bench. I'm going to go ahead and craft the OBI. With the OEI in hand, again, guys, this is like my hack. The safety net for this game, in my opinion, is the OEI. You can literally bring down anything in your menu. So if you're like, hey, this bow, it's great, but it's not cutting it for me, I'm Prometheus, this is the time to shift your focus, right? Drop that rifle, grab yourself some ammo even, if you can afford it. If not, you can start crafting some in-game. We've got the sulfur, we've got the charcoal. You just need iron and copper. So this is your safety net. It's mobile. You can take it with you. Just pick it up, keep it in your inventory. And everywhere you go, whether you're in the Arctic or the swamp or even the lava area, you can use your OEI to drop yourself gear. If you need to purchase emergency gear, meds, supplies, resources, like if you're not able to go run through a cave, right? Again, it all depends on how much money you have available to you. There is a hack for that. If you guys who are watching, if you want to see file manipulation, this is like the dark arts of Icarus. If you want to see file manipulation, jump into the comments and just say file manipulation in the comments or editing files, and I will make a video for you on that. There is a video that exists that can kind of walk you through it. It's pretty comprehensive. I'm not the most tech savvy, but watching that video, I learned how to manipulate files. So if I'm being transparent with you guys, if you look at the workshop, what you see here, 40% of this is actually me. I've gotten the trophy award for harvesting all the exotics on the map. It's pretty cool. It's like you basically see a bunch of meteors fly by on the screen. It's pretty rad. So at this point, I'm more focused on like providing you guys, walkthroughs, how-tos, and then play testing. I'm the kind of player, especially at 800 hours in the game, guys, to be, again, transparent with you. I like to play test. I like to kind of push items to their limits and kind of decide on its value. Is it really worth spending money on? And then I can roll that up to you guys in a comprehensive review on whether or not it's a good purchase. Like my personal recommendation, if you can, this backpack really is OP. If you stack this backpack with the 4 modules that I showed you in my loadout, like the movement speed, the stamina increase, it is kind of insane. This is like true endgame tier 4 or 5 equipment that will make you overpowered in the game. So keep your OEI on hand. It is super necessary. Medical supplies, crafting equipment, resources, all of it is behind the OEI. And again, it's 7 iron ingot, 7 copper ingot, and some rope. And is it wood? Let me double check. Yeah, it's 10 wood. So super simple. You can basically get it within the first 20-30 minutes of the gameplay. If you're not like myself, kind of walking people through it, you can actually get this stuff really quickly. And once you have the basics covered, it's a rapid succession after that. You can bounce from tier 1 to tier 3 even of crafting, probably within the first hour. So big focus from here would be things like your carpentry bench. We already have the stone furnace, so we're good there. You're going to need the anvil to craft nails. And look, you're going to need epoxy. So again, like your primary focus everywhere you go, just think opportunistic hunter. If I see something walking, I'm going to harvest it and take the bones with me. You don't have to take everything, but you definitely need the bones. The epoxy is a small ingredient, but almost everything needs it. So especially the critical items, you're going to want that. After that, guys, it's just kind of dealer's choice. Like if you want to switch to like upgrading armors, I'm actually going to craft this because I want a couple of pouches. Personal storage, like on your body, like you can kind of just decide the direction at this point. We've covered all of our bases. We've got the things we need to eat. The only thing I didn't show you guys is, yeah, the basic water filtration system. But I might even be able to just craft that now for you guys. I can, yeah. So 4 stone, 25 fiber, 30 sticks, and 10 charcoal. Remember, you're going to need additional charcoal. You just need 10 to craft it, but the charcoal is the fuel type to filter your water. So pick literally any body of water that you'll be frequenting by or somewhere near where you're going to be hanging out. Like there's rivers that span a large area through the map here, especially in like this conifer biome. So just pick one. Or if you know there's a river you like to go hang out at, go fishing, whatever it is, like just pick one of those. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to pick this body of water right here. And just toss your basic water purifier in there. So every time you go by it, especially if you're running in and around that area, make a quick trip, top off your canteen, and you're good for several days. Like, that's just end game logic. It's all about preparation and time management. And personally, I'm the kind of guy that likes to go far from base and just explore the map. I like to be hunting all the time. It's like just my favorite pastime in the game. Again, I have 800 hours, and those are the kinds of activities that keep me coming back. Opportunistic food gathering while you're running by, just pick it up. Like, you don't have to stop and dedicate time to it. If you see it, just grab it. There's tons of food in this area. Let me craft a torch real quick. It's kind of dark. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, like, the wheat and the berries in this area is kind of insane. I need to preserve that bacon. So it needs to be deep enough to accommodate for this basic water purifier. But once it's green, just drop it in there. Hold F to access the fuel. And again, it's charcoal. So toss your charcoal in there. It's passive. You don't have to sit here and wait. But just for purposes of demonstration, it doesn't take very long to fill up. So and close that. At the top of this basic water purifier, if you look to the right, you can actually see the water increasing in real time. So 0.57, 59, 62. It's just doing its thing. It's really nice. So you can either drink straight from it or, top off your canteen. You do have to put your canteen in hand. You just hold it, walk up to it, fill your canteen, and you're good to go. I've noticed for me, especially when I'm using the dose up module, I could probably go 3 or 4 days on just this one canteen. So for you explorers, or those of you who are just trying to cover ground, find a new tame, whatever it is, gosh, there's a lot of corn in here too. Like, whatever your activity is, you can really get away with food and water needs. Just spend like 20 minutes, knock out your food preps, knock out your water prep, and then you're good for days on end in the game. That will really help you with your rapid succession through the tiers. You can put your nose to the grind and just focus on whatever is important to you at that moment. We have a bear. Okay. See if we can take this guy one shot. There we go. Nice. And again, bones. I'm going to kind of plug that as a reoccurring theme, but bones, big deal. And we leveled up. I'm basically saving up my blueprint points for the tier 5 crafting. I don't know how much I'll need, but I'm saving all of it for that. I don't even care. I can't wait for that to come out. Grab these bones. Take this back to base. You know, we probably could bring the meat with us. I'll make a drying rack and just kind of demonstrate diversity of food preps. While it's not the focus right now, I just want to demonstrate to you how easy it is. Again, if you're a new player or a veteran, this guide is for you. This thing takes up a lot of room, so I recommend taking it down if you're not using it. But if you wanted your leather armor, you've got heaps of leather because you've been hunting, collecting bones, collecting leather, collecting fur. You can even use this to craft your rope with leather, so it's really nice. Or you could just do fiber here on the crafting bench. So you can use this to either craft your rope with fiber or use the textiles bench to craft your rope with leather. I think I want the small pouch and the medical satchel. It's just going to help with, in my opinion, I think if you can create diversity in your storage options on your person, that's also really going to help you end game. So while it's not necessarily critical at this stage, it's just something to think about, keep in the back of your mind. For that though, you're going to need nails, rope, and leather. So if you don't already have the anvil, you're going to need to craft that as well. We've got heaps of iron and copper because we went and mined that already. So I'm going to hop in here. I'm probably going to make this lightning rod so the house doesn't burn down while we're gone. and the anvil for nails. Again, like, it's tricky because at this stage, you really can go in any direction. Like, if you watch the beginning of the video until this point here, you're good. Like, whether you want to spend the next 80 hours crafting the perfect base, you want to spend the next 100 hours collecting tames and mounts, like, you are good to go. It's just like 5-10 minutes of revisiting your food preps, water prep every like week. Otherwise, yeah, man, you're golden. So hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to drop it in the comments. And if I see those as I go, I'll just reply to your comments or questions that you have, or concerns, you know, any feedback you guys might have. At this stage, for me, again, I'm kind of your explorative bow guy. I just like to run around the map, killing everything that walks and just having fun. So I want this anvil, lightning rod, I guess probably a ranching station next, and that's nails as well. So I'm going to move this out of the way. It's huge, and it's blocking my way. I'm going to put the anvil probably right in here. That way it's not like in the way too much. Let's get some nails going. You definitely don't need copper nails unless you're focusing on the base build aspect. The copper nails are for your aesthetic work. Any of your carpentry items, that's pretty much the main ingredient. But if you're not, like myself, you don't need to worry about it. So just craft you some iron nails. We're looking pretty good. I like the stage here because I'm not married to this temporary base structure. I could literally knock this all down, just take a few items like the anvil, the crafting bench, and the mortar and pestle. You can literally go anywhere on the map at this point and build your best base, live in a cave. Yeah, I mean, the world's your oyster at this point. And that's my preferred modality, method, kind of template for any new prospect, new map, new gameplay, new character even. That's just the way to go. Again, that's opinion based. I'm pretty biased, only because I've played 800 hours of the game. So if you disagree, you're welcome to in the comments. I'll probably make fun of your mom, but it's all good. It's fun in games, guys. Relax. Don't be so serious all the time. Settle down. Play some Icarus, have a good time. I will probably start sniping sulfur at every chance. Bones and sulfur, it's kind of my focus right now. So I've got my nails. Let me go ahead, set this bad boy back up. So I've got rope. Got tons of rope. I could also make more rope. But I really just want the medical satchel and small pouch. I don't know if I actually have enough rope. I don't have enough leather. Let me grab some from here. And I can even start crafting rope on my person just passively. Everything else I can just toss in here. So I mean, with just your fur and your leather, your basic items from the ground, you can start picking up your fiber and your sticks. And yeah, I mean, depending on what you have unlocked, right, in your crafting menu, you can make quite a few different things here. So again, it's all about personal preferences at this point. For me, I just want a few basic things, and then I'm just gonna run around. It's definitely not the best for cold resistance. Leather armor, that is. It also doesn't look that cool. Like, I feel like of all the armor types, the leather armor is kind of underwhelming. I think aesthetically wise, yeah. Oh, man, that's tricky. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna take you guys to the crafting menu. The tech tree. I'm going to kind of scroll through here. I feel like this is probably not as important, But personal preference, yeah, that's tricky. I understand that some of these are behind mission walls, so most of you, I mean, depending on how far you are in the game, obviously. If you're a new player, you probably won't have things behind a mission wall yet. But like the basic, generic, just progression in the game, you can craft these, obviously. Man, that's tricky. Let me think about this, guys. Oh, for sure. Okay. My personal favorite, definitely the Wayfarer outfit. It just looks so cool. I am a huge, huge fan of the Wayfarer armor. Like, it just looks good. It's also very, yeah, if you watch Rune, right? Like, it looks exactly the same. I'm a huge fan. I feel like there was a lot of inspiration for this game from Dune, both the books and the movies. Personal opinion, I don't actually know if that's true, so, you know, don't quote me on that, but yeah, I think in my opinion, this is definitely the best looking armor. That's tier 3 though, so it's a bit of ways off for many players who are new. Again, guys, for those of you who are joining, this is my best attempt to show you a guide, a template for endgame crafting, endgame gear, endgame weapons. I'm just trying to set you up for the most success and then rapid succession, right? I'm going to put this away. It's no way. I'm going to toss that in here, actually. I don't need it right now. I probably won't need it for a long time. If it's all about conservation of space, energy, and time, you could just destroy it. I'm probably going to leave this base here as like a just temporary structure and then run around the map to my heart's content. Let's see. I can throw a few things in here that we want to hang on to, but aren't necessarily critical. I'm going to do some quick inventory management. I'm going to move some iron and ingot around a little bit, toss these into the crafting bench. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on what I'll need. 12 stone, 40 iron ingot, and epoxy. There it is again. Almost everything tier 2, 3, and 4 is behind the epoxy wall material. So you could do masonry bench. I really don't need it. What I want is a ranching station. If I find a juvenile mammoth, I'm going to want to be able to craft a place for it to sleep, something to eat and drink out of, and then a bed. Just the basics. Nothing fancy. What you don't want to do, okay, personal opinion, what you don't want to do is overextend yourself or like get overwhelmed. I feel like it's really easy to, when you start like looking at your base builds, crafting in tier 3 and 4 especially, it can kind of get overwhelming really quickly. So hot tip for like endgame, just think basic items that are critical and then what do those things require? Like just look at the recipe and put it on your radar. If you know you're going to be needing stone, just pick up stone when you're running around. My opinion is like everything is opportunistic. The game will generate these things for you. Just like keep an eye out for those things. Like the next time I go out, I'm looking for sulfur. If I want to craft ammo, I know I'm going to need charcoal and I am definitely going to need sulfur. I want all my bacon. Let's see, I've got 16 left. Probably going to focus on... Those are some pretty decent yields, actually. 40% yield from butchering animals, an additional 5% experience gained. So I might salt this guy. And then whatever's left, it's a perfect amount, actually. So we have food for literally days, guys. If you just follow this modality for food diversity and then food preservation, you literally will not need food for probably like a week or two in the game. And if for any reason you somehow don't have enough food, just quickly, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, run around, do some hunting, bring your food preps back, craft some meals, and then you're good again. Like, it's hard at this point to kind of give you direction. It's really dealer's choice. It's just preference at this point. But if you can just think of longevity, it will kind of just come to you naturally. I want to create crushed bone and then epoxy. And then we can even start to craft some tree sap too. Charcoal. At this stage, I'm going to pull the wood out. I'm going to go into my crafting menu. And then I'm going to start creating sticks from the wood I have in my inventory. Reason for that is I'm going to take these stacks and just put them here in the device inventory. As I run out of sticks here, it will pull from up here and keep feeding that fire. And so I don't have to cook any more meat. I could obviously throw this raw meat on. I definitely don't need it. You can only hold 20 per stack. So if you wanted to, like, yeah, go ahead and craft yourself a drying rack. If you want that diversity and just like some food preservation, that's definitely a good way to go. I've got tons of wood, so we can go ahead and do that now. I think I'm going to do probably a couple splints just in case I break my legs. I shouldn't be breaking my legs, but just in case it happens, you never know. I do have the 40% fall damage reduction module. Personal opinion, I'm kind of lazy. I'd rather just jump off a cliff than take the long route down. And if you're running for your life, you might have to anyway. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, I've got that guy stacked. So, I mean, if you look at this, by the time we get back, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 600 charcoal, maybe even some change. So super easy. It's extremely passive. Just close the door when you walk outside, and you don't have to worry about anything happening to this. I do want to throw the lightning rod up there, though. Can I build a ladder? 10 wood. Just going to build a quick ladder. Before we head off to the next destination, guys, I'm just going to quickly toss this lightning rod up there. I don't want to come back and find the base completely destroyed, so toss that right there in the center. That looks about right. Cool. Look at that. We got a temporary base. We have food literally for days. We've got our water storage covered. Get this guy up. Put it right here. Toss our food on it. I've already got food rotting. So while I'm running around, if I can bring back salt and sulfur, that's going to be the focus. And then I'll just grab some stone and we can start basically crafting tier 2 items. So I'm going to go ahead and just toss my extra supplies in here. Oh, where'd that bone go? There it is. I think I can keep everything else on me. Plenty of food. Yeah, we're going to be good for quite a while. I'm going to craft this full stack of iron ingot into nails. Again, I'm trying to, like, even though I don't need it right now, I do want it to be available to me so that when I come back and I'm like ready to start crafting tier 2 items, tier 3 items even, I'll just have these things ready, waiting for me to go. Same thing goes for epoxy. Definitely don't need it right now, but I'm going to need all of the epoxy I can get my hands on. So the nice thing about the tree sap and sulfur is you can also use those items as a replacement recipe to craft epoxy. So if you're shorthanded on bones, which you shouldn't be, if you've been watching the video, I think I've stressed the importance of bringing back bones every chance you get to craft your epoxy. However, if you're shorthanded, but you do have tree sap and you have sulfur, you can make some epoxy. So epoxy is going to be huge, especially tier 3, tier 4. Every electronic you make, and you will need tons of them, it's going to require epoxy. So can't stress that enough. It's super simple. Just think very opportunistic. If I see something walking, if it walks, it dies. We're bringing back bones every chance we get. I'm gonna top this bad boy off before we leave. Or not. What happened there? It might be bugged. That's okay. As long as I have air to breathe, I'm not gonna worry about it. Toss this bone in there. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like we got enough arrows, heaps of food, we've got medical supplies, and we have our OEI with us. So let's start dropping nonsense from here. And then leave that all here. Don't take it with you. Free up your inventory, especially your weight capacity. Again, that's why I highly encourage, if you can, if you have the option to, I would highly encourage the Add Lift module. It gives you a 15% weight capacity buff. And then again, I'm going to plug this, guys. This is a recent update, and it's super OP. Definitely use this to your advantage. The Explorer backpack is incredible. I mean, look at the yellow text and just read through those. You can pause the video here if you want to even. But you can stack modules with this backpack, which I think is absolutely insane. So I'm going to read through it with you. 40% increase to your maximum stamina, 10% increase to your movement speed, 35% stamina regeneration increase, a reduction in perceived threat by 15%, an additional 6 inventory slots in your backpack on your person, and then a reduction to stamina consumed by actions. So holding down your bow, swinging a hammer to repair your base, mining, like any action that consumes stamina, is a reduction by 25%. That is huge. Stay with me here. If you stack this backpack with these 4 modules, you're a god. You have an additional 10%. So that's an additional 20% now, movement speed. Like the running, you can literally run faster and longer than a horse. It's like kind of insane, but I love it. It's huge. So stack this with the Explorer backpack. You can run longer and faster than a horse. You have an increase to your weight capacity because, you know, the 6 additional inventory slots means you can hold more and heavier things too. Fall damage, probably not for everyone, but again, I'm pretty lazy, guys. To be honest, I don't want to walk all the way around. I just want to jump. I just want to leap off the edge of the cliff. And then the dose up module, I am a huge advocate. Highly recommend this module. You'll go further, farther, and stay out there longer away from your base with a reduction to 15% for all oxygen, food, and water. So huge, especially for a character type like myself. That is kind of my bread and butter. We're going to sleep real quick, and then once morning arrives, which is now, we're going back out. I guess I could stack whatever I have left on me. There we go. I definitely don't need the hammer, but I'm going to bring it with us. And this base is completely temporary, guys. Again, like we could set this thing on fire and we're good. Like as long as you take those critical items, again, crafting bench, your anvil, you probably don't need the stone furnace. It's pretty heavy. Just take your ingot with you, destroy this thing, drop it on the ground. It doesn't really matter. I'm a fan of the salting station. So like we're going to put this concept to practice, right? I'm going to bring a few things with us. I'm going to bring the salting station because I want longevity for food preservation. I'm going to take these nails out of here, drop those in there. So because we built that textiles bench, I was able to craft the small pouch. In the small pouch, you have 6 slots of additional space. So things like your anvil bench, mortar and pestle, like you just take those items, you just toss it into your small pouch. It's hidden from your inventory space. Yes, it's going to add some weight, but because we have that weight reduction, we're good. It's not a concern. And then, yeah, I mean, after that, it's just, you're good. If you want to grab a couple of items from here, so be it. But not married to any of these things, don't really need them right this moment. Now I just want to run around and kill things. So that's what we're going to do. I have kind of been running around this Arctic zone. If you were with us from the beginning, again, thank you for hanging out. We did run through here a little bit to explore, try and find a juvenile mammoth. I was not successful, but that's okay. We're not giving up hope. But I think I'm going to dip up into this upper region here. So we're going to take a look up through here, try and find a juvenile mammoth. But at the very least, I'm going to be grabbing sulfur, salt, bones. So as you're running along, just stop for a moment, pull out your pickaxe, grab the salt. The nice thing I will say about the salt too is it does stack. I think it's like 500. You can hold 500 salt in one inventory slot. Yes, it's going to add weight. You don't need to carry that much. I just know in about a few days when I do my next round of meal prepping, I want to be able to preserve all the food I just crafted. And the best way to do that is either dry it or to salt it. So I'm going to carry that salt with me. It's not a big deal. Not going to lose any sleep. I want to make a weapon, and I'm going to need ammunition. So sulfur is my friend. And I can now craft that wood torch with that sulfur. So lasts longer. I actually think it is brighter. I haven't been able to confirm that yet, so I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that, please. But yeah, huge fan of the wood torch. Definitely lasts longer. And I am under the impression it might be brighter. So I'm going to destroy that. Toss my wood torch in. And yeah, I'm just going to leave that on for you guys. I'm hoping that by leaving it on, it kind of helps to improve the brightness on your end. It looks great for me, but I am streaming live, so that might not translate well to your side. If you're watching on a phone or a TV, if you just go to your settings on your whatever device you're watching on, even a laptop would work. Just go to your settings and then turn up the resolution to whatever is highest for you. It'll probably look a lot better. If you're on data though, you're obviously going to use more data. But if you're at home watching from the comfort of like your couch or bed, analytics says most of you guys are watching on your cell phone, so super easy. Just go to your settings and crank up those resolution features. I did grab coal. I definitely don't need it soon, but I will need it eventually, so I'm going to bring that with us as well. I'm going to drop the stone. It's just unnecessary weight. And I'm going to make my way up to the north. We're going to hop in that Arctic biome. For those of you who are watching right now, I really appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. If you have any questions about becoming the ultimate solo hunter, or endgame gear, endgame armor, endgame weapons, feel free to drop those in the comments down below. I have the chats pulled up right now, so I will see those in real time. If I don't see it right away, forgive me. There's a bit of a lag I've noticed between comments and the chat box. I want bacon. Yep, this guy's coming home with me. I want all the bacon. I can stack quite a bit of it. I don't really need the leather right now, but I'm going to take this stack with us so I can craft some rope. I'm going to drop the fur, grab my bone arrow, and we're going to continue on. So again, like hunting isn't necessarily the priority, but I am going to take every chance I can to grab things as I go. And if you have time before the shot breaks, feel free to just go into crouch. If you're in sneak mode, there is a buffer. There's a multiplier for damage. So just take advantage of that. Dang it. I meant to use my knife. I'm going to grab... From this stack particularly, I'm just going to grab bones and drop everything else. Typically, I would be incredibly concerned about the flash storm coming through, but I did throw the lightning rod up, and it's for that reason. I was kind of anticipating this might happen, so I'm not worried about the base. We're okay, and it's a temporary base. It's not the end of the world. We are getting a little heavy on weight, so I'm going to focus on just bones. I want all the bones. I think these plain equips look pretty rad. It's almost like an African kudu, or kudu from the African continent, meets like giant bodied deer. Almost like a mule deer. Okay, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just hide out from the storm for a sec, so I'm gonna craft me a little hidey hole. Just tuck in here for now. So if you notice, the storm exposure is going down. This is not my original idea. I actually saw this on another YouTube video, so I'm not taking credit for this, but it is super handy. So, hot tip, if you're caught in a storm, just mine a little hole in a rock and hide until it passes. This is a good time to go through your inventory and do some inventory management. How are we doing on food buffs anyway? So I think I want probably bacon. I'm going to prioritize the ones that are lower. Like the ones that are going to spoil sooner, I'm going to eat those in priority. So I'm not going to worry too much about what these food buffs can give me as much as I am right now just worried about using the food before it goes bad. The nice thing about preserving the food with the salt is it does last a good long time. So I'm just going to prioritize what's going to spoil sooner than the rest and just eat that in succession. So the berries are good, especially if you want to save on how much water you're consuming. If you prioritize the berries over your canteen, you'll have more water storage on you. Obviously, there's benefits to that. You can stay out longer, run further away from base, and not have to worry anytime soon. I'm like genuinely concerned I'm going to run out of bacon. It is my favorite food type. We have quite a bit of weight on us right now too. I obviously, didn't need to bring this stuff. I just wanted to demonstrate to you that you can. And you can use it, just run into a cave. We can actually probably do that really anywhere. So once we get to the Arctic biome, I'm going to post up into a cave. Definitely going to look for exotics. Since we're there, we might as well take advantage of that opportunity. But while we're in that cave, we're going to set up the salt station, craft a campfire, cook some food, preserve it, and then keep going. And that's kind of my general approach to Endgame, is like, it's mostly opportunistic. Like, I just want to have fun, run around, kill things, find a cool new tame, a new mount. And this will enable me to do that safely. Yeah, once you have like food, water, and security covered, you can really just, man, the game really opens up to you. And there's like no limit to what you can do. Again, like, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of participated in like the toxic gameplay style of like build the biggest base as fast as you can out of concrete, make it 4 stories tall and, like an acre big. But you definitely do not, you definitely don't need that. But I'm guilty of that for sure. I don't look down on anyone who does that. I'm a huge fan of base builds. Just watch my videos. I mean, I am a fan of base building. Trust me. I just, I have different priorities and I enjoy playing the game. But if you want to punish yourself and you want to put your nose to the grind, then yeah, like spend 80 hours on a giant base build. That's kind of the nice thing. Once you're at this stage, guys, the world is your oyster. Do whatever you want. You're good for like a week and a half. You don't need food, water. You're big chillin' at this point. I'm a little bit capped on space for weight, so I'm going to let these guys live. But if I see something cool, I'm definitely going to shoot it, take it with us. Yeah, the purple sky, man. I don't know, for those of you watching, I don't know if the purple sky thing would bother you if you were like living in this conifer biome. I'm not sure I'm a fan just because I'm recording and I don't know how that always translates for you guys. So I've mostly gravitated towards Arctic biomes lately just because it's, it's clear skies. Looks good. And there's something about, oh my gosh, man. Okay, shout out to the devs because the past few updates, the options for crafting like your wood-based items. So like those really cozy, epic aesthetics for like a cabin build, especially in an Arctic biome, has kind of been my pride and joy lately with the game. There's something about like building a nice stone base or wood cabin in the Arctic zone. You get a little wood stove in there, or even like the stone fireplace, and it just looks so good. Make yourself a little decoration bench and then start making some of those wood-based items. Craft yourself a nice wooden bed, wooden cabinets, wooden storage. My goodness, it looks so good. I'm gonna take a swig of water real quick, don't mind me. Excuse me. Okay, so getting a little closer, we can start to see the snow there. Again, like, as you pass these berries, feel free to just pick them up as you go. It will help save on the water in your canteen. But look at that stamina bar. This is why I really wanted to stress like the importance and value of the diversity in your food preps. Because my goodness, I can literally run longer. I've tested this. My buddy Chief and I, we were on Olympus. I play tested this because I wanted to see if it worked. I was racing him from one side of the map to the other, and I was able to run faster and longer than his horse, and I got there probably a couple minutes before him. I'm not even exaggerating. It is that good. You couple that with the Explorer backpack and a couple good modules, and I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. The food buffs, the backpack, the modules, that is endgame OP god tier gear. Like, if you want the best loadout, that's it. I just handed it to you on a silver platter. If you like that content and you like these recommendations and hot tips, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps to build the channel. We are here in the Arctic zone. I'm going to start popping heads. I played probably 4,000 hours of Skyrim. And I don't know what it is about those like kill cam shots, but it gives me a nice warm and fuzzy. And is a throwback, for me at least, to the Skyrim days. Oh, there it is. Totally walked past it. Yeah, those kill cams, it just really reminds me of Skyrim. I don't know about you guys, but that's definitely how I feel about it. So, we're going to want to find a cave somewhere near to us. And just tuck away in for just like a moment. Bones, drop, bones. I'm looking for a hole to hide in. That looks a bit cavey, but I'm not convinced. Let's just go check. Maybe. Nope. Deceiving. I thought it was, it's not. But I'm just going to scour the edge of the wall here and just look for a cave. Just want to tuck in. Ooh. Yeah, this is the other advantage too. Like, hear me out. Unpopular opinion, but if you can find an area with these like deep mining ores, these deposits, and then like you can craft your base in better proximity, closer proximity to these deep ore deposits, man, like you could just passively mine everything you could possibly need. All you gotta do is keep it topped off on fuel. So whether you're doing like electric, even biofuel, as long as it's what just happened. Guys, it's still going. You see that, right? What? It just... Huh. I mean, we are on an alien planet, and so yes, I suppose you could argue the physics are different here, but it's just stuck up there in the air, which is a bummer. But that's okay. Gonna move on here and pretend that did not just happen. And here's our cave. Okay, so I don't think we're in threat of any cave worms, so I'm just going to hang out up here. I'm going to open my small pouch, bring out the salting station, drop that down here. Whoa, what's going on? There we go. I do have the salt on me that I've been picking up, and I'm going to go ahead and keep this here for a moment. I'm going to craft the fire pit, campfire. Cook up all this bacon before it goes bad. I'm going to, again, prioritize the food that's going bad first. Place that down. Toss my bacon in. I've got some sticks. Probably should have brought a stack of wood, but that's okay. I'll just run outside and grab some stuff. There's also trees in here, so again, I'm hoping I'm like conveying the right message to you guys, and it's opportunity. Everything is opportunity based and then priority based. Wow. I think I might be Thor. Did you guys see that? It was one swing. Look at that. That was unexpected, but I won't complain. I'll take it. Whoa. I'm gonna grab these bones. I tried to like Assassin's Creed dive bomb. It didn't really... It looked cooler in my head when I envisioned it. Execution, probably like a 3 out of 10. And then we can just swap this for wood. And I actually might even, since I'm like here in this general area, I might just craft some sticks out of these like wood stacks and then toss those on the fire as well. Ooh, I don't think we need that much. Oh my gosh. Settle down. There we go. And then just toss these in here. Cool. Probably swap back out. And then while it's cooking, you can just take what is cooked already and just go ahead and preserve it. Toss that in. Salt it. Add it to your stack. And again, keep in mind, guys, the reason I say bacon's my favorite, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can stack that to like 45. So, and the buffs alone are more than worth it. It's definitely my favorite meat. I'm going to go ahead and drop. I mean, unfortunately, I definitely just don't need all this. I suppose we could just craft like a medium crate, leave it here. Definitely be careful though. You're going to want to be... You want to manage how many deployable items and buildings you have. In previous videos, I have playtested the effects of the Great Hunts campaign. If you navigate to your settings, on this page you can see your deployable items. So crafting stations, benches, even the OEI, anything you can place down and interact with, that's considered a deployable. The more deployables you have, the more pipes and wires and buildings you have in the game, and mounts especially. At least currently in this version of the game, I'm not complaining, just an observation. In this current iteration of the game, the more things you have in the world, the more bogged down the system will be. So I'm playing on a 4070 Ti, and at one point, because of the Great Hunts campaign, I was literally at 40 frames per second. Right now I'm sitting at 140 to 144, 145. If you don't want to severely degrade your gaming experience, definitely keep an eye on these items here. Just a friendly tip, you know. Okay, so I'm going to salt the rest of this, and then, yeah, we're just going to continue our little mission and journey here. Consume stack. Again, every time you consume stack, keep in mind this will top off your food and water. So if you don't want to tap into your food buffs or your canteen, just keep a couple hundred of these on you. You could even craft a sickle if you got some bone on you, just craft a bone sickle and then use that to harvest your berries, wheat, whatever it is. You'll get more of a yield from that. Actually going to craft one for you guys real quick. So definitely, you know, arguably not necessary, but it is helpful. Then, yeah, we got quite a bit of bones. I'm going to stash the sulfur in here for now. Probably all of it, and the coal, stone, leather. But the bones I will not part ways with. I don't care if I stay here in this area, I'll go back to my base. I'm going to keep those bones on me because, again, epoxy, tier 3, tier 4, any electronic device, any critical item that you need to craft in tier 3, tier 4, epoxy is your best friend. Okay, so bacon's done. I'm going to go ahead and toss that in, salt it up. I'm going to demonstrate the benefits of having the OEI on your person at all times. Again, I've got it in my small pouch here. I am going to take this boy with us. I want my salting station back. Toss that in my pouch. And then you can even, like these last two, yeah, I guess hotkeys on my menu. I'll try to keep these items here. You can just use your scroll wheel on your mouse, right click it, and then it instantly opens it up, giving you immediate access to it. Or you can just tab over and then select it. But a hot tip, it's a good idea to keep your medical satchel on your hotbar or in a hotkey. That way you can quickly access it so you don't bleed out and die. Just a friendly tip. Definitely not necessary, but good practice. So I'm going to pull out the OEI. Just kind of demonstrate the benefits of having this with you. Again, it is mobile. You can take it with you everywhere you go. If I should decide in this moment right now that I no longer want the armor that I'm wearing, I'm just going to drop down an armor. Drop down a pistol, couple boxes of ammo. Say my tank goes empty and I can't refill it. I've pre-filled tanks and then put them into orbit so I can drop them down wherever I am and use it. If I want to just scan the immediate area looking for deposits, because now my focus is changing, say, towards like I want a base build, but I want it to be in an ideal position, especially one where I can maximize passive collection of ore and materials. Use that bad boy, help you find a good spot, bring that down. You could even bring down the chac rifle, which actually sounds really fun. I might do that. That sounds really fun. Toss that back in. I'm gonna go back to the workshop, pick up some 7.62 ammo. Probably 4. I'm gonna say a few of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is good. I'm gonna use these 4 boxes of ammo. If you decide like, hey, these modules, while they are great, AOR, I'm just not a fan of the buffs that I get from them. Swap them out. Buy yourself some medical supplies if you need it, resources if you don't want to go run around looking for gold, titanium. Again, I understand a lot of this is like you need to purchase it, but that is the huge advantage of having the OEI with you. So I actually am going to drop those things down, I think, because that just sounds rad. And then I want that guy. I think I'm good. I'll just put the bow back up into orbit when I send it back up. So again, the OEI is kind of your safety net. It's sort of your best friend. It's like that favorite sock hiding under your bed, you know? It's just like a nice creature comfort. Just keep it with you. You'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and toss the bow into here. Take everything out of here. Deliver back to station. So now that I don't have the bow, I definitely don't need these bone arrows. So I'm going to toss that into my small pouch. Let's consume the boxes of ammo here. And then I'm going to keep these probably at the bottom most area on my inventory slot. It's not something I need to interact with ever. I just want to keep an eye on it. And then I'm going to destroy my armor. Get back some fiber. And then I'm going to equip the new armor I just dropped. I'm going to keep this guy probably handy. And then, yeah, we're looking good on inventory. I'm going to go ahead and load up the chac rifle. Pros and cons. In the play testing that I have done, it seems like the chac rifle is definitely a good option. You can basically one-shot everything, especially if you go into stealth mode first. So if you're sneaky about it, it's definitely a high-tier item. Just be careful, because once you pop off that shot, anything in proximity or area of effect is going to hear it's going to hear that shot. So just watch your back. I am bleeding, so I'm going to go ahead and open my satchel and consume right from there, and we're good. We're no longer bleeding to death. That's nice. I'm going to take all the bones. All the bones. I'm going to drop this stuff just so I can stab the carcass, take the bones that are left. Got another leopard coming in. Just going to check my 6 for a second. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. So, because I know the amount of electronics I'm going to be using is going to be just otherworldly. Yeah, opportunistic bone collection. So much epoxy will be needed. Guys, we are almost 2 hours deep into the stream. For those of you who are joining me, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's always nice to hop on the stream on a Thursday night and see all of you guys show up. It means a lot. Okay, that looks pretty good. Pretty savage. Just bones of, or excuse me, piles of meat and leather laying around everywhere. I'm going to kind of just do a lap. Basically what you want to do for, you know, the ultimate hunter solo guide, you want to run around the area. The game is a procedural generated map. So the more time you spend in an area, turn your back a few times, let the game know you're in that area, you're going to start to see things spawn, right? More critters are going to start showing up. Just run around, do your thing. The longer you're in the area, the more things are going to start rendering into that map. Let me keep this guy topped off. But right now, I'm kind of just exploring the Arctic area. The devs did say that if you wanted to find a juvenile mammoth for a new tame or mount, you'd have to be in the colder regions. I have yet to see it. I hate to say that. Just an observation, though, not a criticism. I have yet to see the juvenile mammoth. It just hasn't happened for me yet. If it's happened for you guys, I'm jealous. Don't tell me in the comments if you have one, because I might block you forever. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But I am jealous if you do have one. I just haven't found one yet, man. I've probably spent 4 hours in real life exploring Arctic areas. I didn't want to look up content on it. I wanted my reaction to be genuine for you guys. I wanted the satisfaction to feel real for myself. So I just don't want to look it up. That might be weird. For some things, I absolutely do not care about spoilers. Avengers Endgame, like, I had my friend tell me the entire movie, start to finish, what happened. Other things, I would almost rather chew on barbed wire than hear a spoiler. Like, Paramount Plus has an amazing TV show right now, Landman. It is so good. Someone at work started to tell me he started to tell me about what was happening in one of the episodes, and I was like, "Hey man, look, we're good friends. You're a great guy, but if you tell me any more than you already have about what happens in that episode, I might quit my job, and you will have to do all the work that I'm currently doing in this office because it will take them months to rehire. So, unless you want my workload, stop talking right now. I don't want to hear it. Stop spoiling the show for me." All that to say, I just don't want to spoil it for myself. I could be completely wrong, and even in the wrong biome. But if I am, I don't want to know. I'd rather live in suspended delusion and in ignorance and not know. Because again, like if I film it, if I'm streaming when it happens, I want it to be a genuine reaction, and I just want the satisfaction. I want a baby mammoth so bad. But I don't see it anywhere. So, the method to the madness. The area that you're in, just do a couple laps, keep running around. The longer you're there in the area, the more will pop up. So just keep on doing laps. Just follow Dory's theme. Just keep swimming. Just keep running around in that general vicinity. And again, procedural generation will do the rest. And I am kind of curious, like, what kind of resources are in this area. So, I'm going to take a look at this. Ooh, obsidian. That's good to know. Make some obsidian aerials. So there's platinum ore pretty close by. And there's that sulfur that we ran into at the beginning. Copper is so big, guys. For every electronic device, crafting shotgun shells, like the amount of copper you need in this game is absolutely crazy. So do yourself a favor, get one of these devices or craft one in game even, just at a crafting bench. And yeah, just kind of scout out the general vicinity that you want to base build in. Make sure there's some copper nearby, because that will save you probably a couple dozen hours of mining. Look, if the grind is your thing, dude, more power to you. I'd rather run around and shoot things and explore the map, find new mounts, new tames. But if you're into the grind, you know, good for you. I'm lazy. I'd rather do passive collection of critical materials, ore, and these high density areas. Like, yes, it's a little dangerous for sure, especially on Prometheus, especially if you're playing with arachnophobia mode. But yeah, just finding yourself a nice deep ore vein of some copper, and you'll be good for good and long. You don't have to worry about a single thing. So this area is a bust. I kind of want to check out. It's 8:36 IRL, 2 hours 3 minutes. Yeah, we're not too far. I kind of want to dip into the swamp biome a little bit and just kind of scope it out. I just want to cover my bases here. Look, I'm under the impression that the devs weren't lying, and if I understood it correctly, from what I can tell, the juvenile mammoth is supposed to be in these colder regions. I just haven't seen it, bro. And I mean, if you've been following from the beginning of the stream, when I was on the other side of the map at the other Arctic biome, I didn't see one. So I'm just gonna peek my head into the swamp biome and see if I can find anything. Just want to point out, look how fast I'm running. It's absolutely insane. Probably clear that whole thing. Look at that. Pairing the backpack, Explorer backpack, with these 4 modules is like really OP. I did not break my leg because the 40% reduction module to fall damage. It's just kind of nice. I don't know. You definitely don't have to use the same things. What other food buffs do I have right now? So I have 3. So I can probably do... I want more stamina. So 100. 100. Probably this guy. Then I'm going to consume stack. Cool. I do have some bacon on me. I won't worry about that right now. I'm just going to try and cover some ground. Bones. Bones are your friend. Take all the bones. Cool. We're not too terribly far. I can kind of start to see the edge of that biome right there. I feel bad because I feel like I know Olympus very well. I know where most of the caves are, just sheer memory. But when it comes to Prometheus, the map, and Styx, I'm not as familiar with the caves. If you find yourself in the same situation like myself, then yeah, just craft a cave detection device and keep that in your small pouch, keep it in your pocket. It's pretty handy, especially if you're like, if it's an emergency, right? There's a tier 4 or 5 or 6 storm coming through, just quickly pull that bad boy out and run to the nearest cave. Or like I showed earlier in this episode, if you just like mine out a small portion. Again, this isn't, I didn't know this, I just saw it in somebody else's video. But yeah, mine yourself out a little cubby in stone and just hide out from the storm until it passes. Sort through your inventory. Look at the recipes for other items you're going to want to craft pretty soon and just start putting that on your radar. Keep that in the forefront of your mind. Gosh, this is... I don't know how it looks for you guys, but 120 to 136, even 140 frames per second. This is looking really nice right now. It's like the golden hour, baby. Sun setting. I've got hella food, hella water. All the equipment and gear that I need for endgame play. I'm just enjoying running around hunting. Look at this, man. Oh. 800 hours in this game. Still gets me. It's absolutely stunning. Just beautiful. Shout out to the devs, man. This is probably my least favorite biome. Only because everything is toxic and trying to kill you. And having spent some time in the south, no offense, but the humidity and the smell that this place must have. Oh my gosh. Can't even imagine. Hot tip, if you go into camera mode, you can actually scout out the surrounding area. I really hope they introduce drones into the game because I feel like that would be just absolutely epic. But I often will use camera mode to kind of scout out the surrounding area. And it gives the map some time to procedurally generate those critters. Notice when we first walked in, there was like absolutely nothing around us. And now we can start to see some of these tabs, health bars pop up, letting us know that things are starting to spawn in our general vicinity. So if you're struggling with finding critters, again, just do a couple laps, hang out for a second, pop a meal, sort through your inventory. Just give the map a second to do its thing, and critters will start showing up. I wonder what this area has. Sulfur, always nice. Copper is the big one though. Copper and gold, especially endgame. All your electronic devices, electronic equipment, all of it's going to require copper, gold, epoxy. So keep that in mind. It's getting pretty late. I don't have any fur. Okay. I need to change that. None of those things have fur. You do. Do you guys like that? I shot right through the bush. Okay, anything with fur is going to die, because I want to craft a bed. Do we have... We do not. I'm going to grab, like, enough wood to build the smallest and most temporary of structures. Whoa. I just heard something really creepy. Gosh, man. Okay, hear me out. This game is becoming a survival horror game really quickly. Like, go back to my oldest videos. I have said that from the beginning. I definitely get survival horror game vibes from this game. Generally speaking, I'm kind of a jumpy person. I think that comes with my occupation and just life experiences in general. But yeah, this biome is creepy. I love it for that reason. I'm a huge fan of like the horror genre, movies, TV shows, that type of thing. And that is like, just listen. Look at this. So creepy. Okay. I just want 2 of these. 4 walls. I'm not even going to bother with the door or windows. Probably don't even need the wood beams. Let's go ahead and page down. Oh, I changed it. It's 4 and 5, or 5 and 6. Here we go. I'm just going to set up the most temporary of structures. We're just going to sleep real quick. I'm going to keep this wall off and just put the roof there. I really hope that's a pygmy lop, because dang it. Okay. I just need a little bit of fur. 14 fur. We probably won't find it, which is somehow so much more creepy. That guy's going to have fur for sure. Let's go into camera mode here. Look at this guy. So jacked. Look at the muscle fibers in this dude. I'm going to grab a couple pictures real quick. There we go. And then, unfortunately, we're probably going to need him. The worst time to be reloading. The absolute worst. Just going to make sure nothing's coming after me. I'm scared. Okay. This should definitely give us enough fur. And I'm also going to carry this with us. Probably take the leather just in case we need it. Yeah, just in case you don't know, these mammoth tusks, I think it's 400 crushed bone per mammoth tusk. Oh my gosh. Freaking dreadwing. Okay, I'm not even kidding. When I was looking up, you can kind of see the top portion of the mammoth bone. That scared me. I'm not even exaggerating. I actually was scared. Okay, let's go inside where it's safe. Nice and cozy. Oh. I need a campfire. Is there any stone around here? Oh, here we go. Yeah, that works. That should be good. I keep hearing creepy things. I don't like that. I'm gonna hide. Okay. Put this like as far away from the campfire as I can. Yeah, it would be really sad if somehow this structure caught on fire while you're sleeping. And you should definitely have a window for proper ventilation, but we're gonna hotbox this bad boy. Okay. Let's go ahead and sleep, just so it's not dark. And I'm going to pull out my salting station. Oh, I just dropped it. Pull out the salting station. Can I fit this somehow? Ooh, she's a bit tight. Let me make some room here. I'm gonna toss this bedroll into my small pouch if there's room. I think there should be. Oh yeah. Can I place this? Perfect. So I've still got some salt on me. I'm gonna let those bacon bits cook for a little while, and then toss those in, preserve it, add that to my stack. If I happen across some silica, I might even just like craft a new crafting station and craft the mortar and pestle, and then start converting these into epoxy, because yeah, we've got quite a bit of it. And then we also have that tusk on our back as well. Oh, let's do that. There we go. Okay, that should be done, or damn near. Cool. I like it. Yeah, so again, I'm not spending a ton of time like revisiting the food preparation. Just quickly pull out your salting station, add your salt in there, salt your meats, preserve whatever food you need to. And because of how much salt we do have, I might even do like a partial stack of these berries. And now these berries are going to last longer as well. And I'll just pull from this stack to top off food and water in the meantime. But that's just a hot tip. You can preserve berries. Seems counterintuitive, but hey, the game lets you do it. I will not complain. Grab the salt station. Toss that in there. And yeah, we're getting close to max capacity. Obviously, I don't need the wood. I'm probably just going to drop it. But I am going to take this temporary structure with us. We could probably just drop that, pull the wood out. We can keep a partial stack of wood on us. You never know, you might need it. And then I'm going to carry the campfire with us. So if we're out here for longer than a few days, you know, obviously we can set this up real quick, sleep through the night. So it's less creepy out here. Gosh, man. Look at this. I mean, the sky is green, for crying out loud. This place is creepy. This is like definitely rifle area or some kind of gun. You just need something in this space. It's too weird not to. See a geyser back there. Yeah, it's like it's almost kind of hard to like visually scout out an area when everything looks like this. Oh. Gosh, look at this thing. Ew. So gross. It's like a giant snail meets like a horny toad. But you do get volatile substance for free. That's pretty rad. And then obviously some miasma. Probably won't carry it with us. You do take damage. Yeah. Just creepy. Pretty nasty. Okay, I don't want to run around in too tight of a circle, so I'm going to drop a waypoint probably here. And then I'll kind of take a wide, like a wide circle back this way to like D7, E7, F7, and then dip back out because, I just don't think that the juvenile mammoth is going to be in here. I hope I have been able to like cover all my bases with you guys. Again, if you have questions or comments, feel free to drop that in the comments down below. I've got the chat box pulled up, and if you guys see anything, just feel free to mention that. And don't tell me where to find baby or juvenile mammoths, please. I want to do it on my own. There we go. Creepy things, just being creepy, walking around the swamp biome. Yeah, one thing I've noticed too. Oh, hello. You don't have a baby with you. Dude, the Ubis is just so rad. That short, I made a short on my channel of finding my very first juvenile Ubis, and it's got like 6,000 or 7,000 views on it. So if you guys have seen that, I really appreciate you guys checking that out. I know it was part of another video, and obviously if you saw that video, seeing the short was probably redundant, but I just was so stoked about that Ubis. I currently have it up in orbit right now. If I craft a saddle, I could bring it down though and use it to cover ground, but currently with the modules in the backpack and the food buffs, I don't need it, and I'm afraid to lose it, so... Oh, there's a few Ubis out here. What are you? That is so bizarre. Oh, there's a juvenile. No way. You're coming with me. You are mine. Hello. Hello there. What a cutie. You're coming with me. I definitely want the bones. I'll take some fur. I'll take some more leather. Drop the rest of this and grab bones. Are you following me? Okay, cool. We're gonna go this way. Okay. So nothing yet. I'm gonna kind of head in that general direction. And then loop back around to like the doorway or entry between these two biomes, conifer and swamp biome, or like what I like to say is horror biome, because honestly that's what it is. This place is horrifying. It is too creepy. I feel like if you were here, you could like wear the air just because of the sheer humidity in this area. And I can only imagine what this smells like. Especially when you look at the creatures that walk through here. Dude. Ew. So gross. Except for my baby Ubis. She's adorable. She's my little swamp puppy. She's coming home with me. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that there's probably not juvenile mammoths out here. We obviously did see a mammoth, which is the only mammoth that we've managed to see here on the map. So, look, I don't know yet, but at least when I was thinking about it, it made the most sense to me in my head. Like, okay, if this is the only known biome on the map where there's mammoth to be found, then maybe there's a baby juvenile mammoth in this area. It just hasn't happened, so I don't know. I'm not going to give up, though. And just a quick update, I have not heard anything new from the devs about a release date for Tier 5 crafting. Oh, what's that? Nice. But it is exactly what I'm waiting for. Let me just drag this over real quick. Tier 5, Tier 5, Tier 5. Gosh, was it really that long ago? Yeah, the Tier 5 update was... So week 212 was the rideable mammoth. Let me just read this real quick. I'll drag this over for you guys. So, rideable mammoth. Okay, introducing the juvenile woolly mammoths to Icarus. Prospectors can now encounter these massive creatures in the wild, tame them, and equip them with saddles, blah, blah, blah. Fixed issue. Yeah. Okay, you'll find them roaming colder regions, and they follow the same taming and care systems as existing creatures, making them easy to integrate into your current playstyle. Look, that's cool, but also, I might be the worst explorer with 800 hours in the game. I don't... If I sound like I'm complaining, I promise I'm not. I'm just I'm disappointed in myself because I haven't found it yet. But I'm really looking forward to that. I think that would be awesome. Let me just drop that real quick so I can still keep an eye on the chat. Okay. Oh, no. What are these things called? Spiked brambles. Yeah, imagine a biome where everything, including the plants, is trying to kill you. That's Prometheus swamp biome for you. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I mean, I read it to you guys live. Like, it's not gonna be here, even though this is the only biome I have seen mammoths. It's probably not here. I'm almost half tempted to like next week, either Tuesday or Thursday when I do the live stream again, I might take us over to Olympus, like just that map, and run around those Arctic biomes and see if we can't get our hands on a juvenile mammoth. Because I'm really looking forward to playtesting, doing a review, and exploring the skill tree for you guys. I want it to be as comprehensive and detailed as possible, so I'm hoping to find it soon so I can do a reaction. Oh my gosh. These things will mess you up. Those spikes will unzip your skin like a zipper. It will light you up like Christmas morning. That is not something you want to underestimate. Yeah, so in order for me to do this, playtesting, do a comprehensive review of like the skill tree, advantages or disadvantages of the juvenile mammoth, I need time. Like, I want like at least 6 to 10 hours of just like messing with it, testing it. I'm gonna do some footage of like fighting. Oh, okay, he just went underground. Ah, dude, just look at that thing. Oh, ew. But not you. You're my swamp puppy. You're coming home with me. So yeah, I mean, you guys have seen it live. The last 2.5-ish hours, I have been desperately attempting to get my hands on a juvenile mammoth. Hasn't happened yet, so I believe next week's stream, either Tuesday or Thursday, make sure to ring that notification bell so you won't miss out on next week's video. But yeah, I think I'm going to explore Olympus and just get me a couple of them even. If I can just grab a couple and get them up into the orbital exchange, I'm going to bring them to different maps and like play test them because I am real curious about that tame or mount. Advantages, disadvantages. I feel like there's a lot of hype on that right now, and I am just excited. Ew. Do not. So gross. There's another one. Look at these guys. I missed. There we go. Oh! Oh. Not gonna lie. I might have or might not have just peed a little bit. Yeah, that scared me for sure. Okay, I'm gonna head back towards our neck of the woods. Our temporary base is here-ish. I'm excited to bring all this loot home. I got all this stuff with me. It's nice. And I guess we do have room, so from now until we get home, I'm going to pick up sulfur and bones. Yeah, and I'm glad I was able to use the bow. Excuse me. I'm glad I was able to use the bow because I really, like I said, I wanted to kind of bridge the gap between new players and veterans. For like the first hour and a half, I was able to use the bow to kind of demonstrate to you guys like the ideal loadout for when you drop in, right? The key to your longevity, survival, in especially these maps, right? Styx, Prometheus. If you want to survive, you need to prepare for these areas. And obviously, you can drop with absolutely nothing. You can craft everything as you go. But for Endgame, you definitely want good gear, good tools. And I hope I've been able to demonstrate to you guys exactly what you need to do that. Feel free to review this video. Like the next time you go to do a new playthrough, do a new prospect, new map, like come back, watch this video. You can have it playing in the background even if you want to. And just follow the concepts that I demonstrated here. And I think you will have no problems every time you play. Again, a lot of it's just preference. A lot of it is priorities. If you're going to be base building, definitely going to be a little bit different, right? If your goal is to just run around, find all the exotics on the map, and then go to another prospect, come here, do missions, like it's obviously going to change depending on what you want to do, but the fundamentals remain the same. If you can cover your basic necessities, food and water, diversify your meal preps, and try to prioritize using other things to keep like your food, water topped off. Use a combo of these wicked modules and a wicked backpack, and yeah, you're gonna be god tier. Run around, hunt everything you can, opportunistically even. Keep all those bones, make crushed bone, craft epoxy. You're going to really set yourself up for a lot of success, and then rapid succession too. You're going to melt tier 1, tier 2. You'll be in tier 3, tier 4 pretty quickly. So those are the fundamentals. That's my template. That's my guide and walkthrough for today's episode. Again, feel free to drop down in the comments questions, concerns, even if you want to talk smack. Yeah, whatever it is. It's always nice to hear from you guys. I'm going to get back to base. I'm probably going to craft a bed for my baby girl and get her like a food trough, water trough. And yeah, make a saddle, feed it, get it ready to be a mount. There is so much food here. Look at all the wheat everywhere. It's like everywhere you look, there's wheat and berries everywhere. This like area is like super rich in food. Tons of fiber, tons of trees. Awesome flat ground for farming. There's corn, coffee. I mean, it's all here. Like this area, I'm going to show you on the map. I-9, I-8, J8, but J9 in particular, holy smoke. All the resources are right here, close proximity. So, well guys, that concludes today's episode. If you found this to be helpful or educational at all, any benefit to you, please consider giving this a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps to build this channel. Until next time, you guys have a good night. Have a good day, wherever you might be in the world right now. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you guys next week again. We're going to be streaming on Tuesday or Thursday next week, so make sure to tune in for that. And above all else, take these concepts with you into your next prospect and watch the world become your oyster. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. All of you guys. This is awesome. Thank you for your support. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.